Today, we're going to look at 3 places you can't go and people who went there anyways. But before we get into those stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So, if that's of interest to you, the next time the like button says they need to replace their tires on their Toyota Corolla, offer to do it for them and to pay for them, but make sure you replace their tires with enormous, oversized monster truck tires. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's get into today's stories.
Who is MrBallen? Once upon a time, there was a Wollaston guy who evolved from Navy SEAL to YouTube storytelling sensation. Digging deep into the strange, dark and mysterious world of storytelling consisting of several genres like true crime, horror, mystery and thriller, he has proven to be one of the best storytellers that can get you so hooked up even in the first second. He tells the stories with not just his mouth. If you are a big fan of the strange, dark and mysterious delivered in story format, then you can tell. His unique way of telling stories has made him stand out among other storytellers, and it has also made him one of the best storytellers of this present generation. But amidst all these accomplishments so far, what are some things you actually or probably don't know? Let's dive deeper to get a clue. Welcome to Story Sphere, and it's story time, so stick around and grab your popcorn. We tell stories ranging from true stories, scary stories both true and fictional, urban legends and lots more. If you like it, then make sure you like and comment on your favorite moments from the story.
Early life. John B. Allen, also Jonathan B. Allen, was born on October 1, 1988, making him officially 35 years old at the time of this video. Born in Quincy, Massachusetts, Allen was raised with blue-collar values by his parents, Jesse Thuma and Scott Allen, in the Wollaston section of Quincy. They first lived on Franklin Street, then East Elm Avenue, near the Clam Box, he said. Growing up, Allen played Little League and Babe Ruth baseball. As a teenager, he worked for the Quincy Recreation Department. He learned to snowboard at Blue Hills Ski Area. After graduating high school, he left UMass Amherst during his freshman year because of bad behavior. He spent the next 3 semesters living in his mother's basement while taking classes at UMass Boston. I was lost. I couldn't figure out what to do, Allen said. He returned to the Amherst campus after getting his act together, and graduated in 2010 with a degree in philosophy and a minor in English. A few months later, he went to the recruiting office in Quincy Center to enlist. Family of storytellers. Allen's path from Quincy to Navy SEALs to internet fame might seem unconventional, but he comes from a family of storytellers. Mom is a freelance writer and head of circulation at Thomas Crane Library. Dad, a former Patriot Ledger reporter, is the assistant managing editor for projects at the Boston Globe, overseeing the Spotlight team. His older sister, Evan Allen, is a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter for the Globe, and his younger sister, Jessie Allen, is a PhD candidate in biology at Tufts University. They are smart and really talented writers. I always thought I was the worst writer of the group, Allen said. The way I communicated stories was not through writing but by speaking. Compared to them, I always felt I had a leg up when it came to describing stories and talking about stories. But they got me beat on the writing. Yet, with close to 9 million subscribers and counting, Allen has his happily ever after. A quick one. MrBallen experienced bullying in school a lot. He was a victim of bullying in his early years in school. MrBallen's kids do not listen to his stories. Considering the fact that the strange, dark and mysterious stories are not random or fictional. Although it covers genres like crime, mystery, solved and unsolved, thriller, horror and paranormal. These stories are based on true life events of real people that had tragic and horrible encounters. His stories mostly involve the victim being killed. Most of the stories are best suitable for a mature audience, and that explains everything. MrBallen also doesn't cover tragic stories that are related to kids. Stories involving kids being hurt or killed is a total exception, which is a good one because such stories will be disturbing for a lot of people. His thoughts are that he had kids and he couldn't bring himself to tell tragic stories of other kids. So where are we? That's just a quick one. Let's get deeper. Becoming a Navy SEAL. By December 2010, he was in boot camp. Allen was a member of SEAL Team 2 stationed in Virginia Beach for 5 years, deploying to Afghanistan and South America. Near-death experience. During his deployment to Afghanistan as a Navy SEAL in 2014, a grenade bounced off his shoulder during a firefight and exploded, the blast sending shrapnel flying into his hips and legs. "I was bleeding to death," Allen said. "I went deaf and blind and thought I was going to die." The unit's medic jumped into action and, eventually, a helicopter came to the rescue. 9 of the 25 members in his platoon received Purple Hearts. Medical retirement. MrBallen medically retired from the Navy SEALs in 2017 due to poor physical and mental health that was an aftermath from his previous near-death experience. Therapy. Following a series of traumatizing events, MrBallen had to undergo a series of extensive therapy. The trauma he witnessed earlier greatly affected his mental health. Even after recovering physically, his mental health was deteriorating. This made him easily frustrated at things, always angry at his wife and kids. He was a shadow of himself during this period.
This video is sponsored by Grunz. Grunz care about your health, since health is a basic amenity to every human being. They basically help in filling your nutrition gaps, giving you better nutritions and in turn good health. Want to try them out? Check out the link in the bio and you won't regret it.
A new turning point. Upon return to civilian life, Allen worked for a stretch at a nonprofit helping veterans find jobs and training Navy SEAL candidates. During that time, Allen said he began leveraging social media to share military stories to raise money for the charity. "I was mostly documenting my own experience, telling stories about my time in service," Allen said. In 2018, Allen built a following of about 50,000 fans around the John the Navy SEAL brand, but the fallout was pretty significant. "My former SEAL teammates were unhappy that I was parading around like I was so cool, like I'm Mr. Navy SEAL. People were upset with me," Allen said. CRINGY. Failed. After deleting all his SEAL videos on the internet, MrBallen decided to start afresh, but this time on TikTok. He began to hop on TikTok trends at the time, but around that time, kids are very popular on TikTok, making all those trends cringy for adults who tried to replicate them. MrBallen said that all those videos were so cringy that he can't even replicate them now. And to make the situation worse, his videos got below 2,000 views despite his consistency. Going viral. Dyatlov Pass story. In early 2020, the former Navy SEAL posted a video on TikTok about the mysterious deaths of 9 Russian hikers, commonly known as the Dyatlov Pass incident, in the late 1950s. He then left his phone at home and went to a water park with his family. When he came back, the post had 5 million views. In literally about 4 hours after being initially posted. "I literally thought there was a glitch with my phone," Allen told the Post. After MrBallen saw that his mysterious videos performed well, it prompted him to make additional TikToks about other unsolved mysteries. That viral video launched Allen's social media career. Posting under the moniker MrBallen, his YouTube channel has 8.9 million subscribers at the time of this video, and his podcast, Strange, Dark and Mysterious Stories, has skyrocketed to the #1 spot on Spotify's true crime podcast chart. In doing so, it surpassed established hits like Crime Junkie and Murder, Mystery and Makeup. Allen would regularly post to social media about his military service, but when he made the TikTok video about the incident at Dyatlov Pass, he experienced an entirely new level of popularity. People were so into it, he said. He posted a quick take on the bizarre deaths of 9 Russian hikers at Dyatlov Pass. Then he went to an indoor water park with his wife, Amanda, and their 3 children, Ella, 5, Cora, 4, and 1-year-old Henry. 5 hours later, the post had tallied 5 million views. I didn't see it as a career, but I wanted to do another one. I kid you not, all of them went viral. Everything had 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 million views. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it worked, Allen said. Allen films in front of a green screen in his home in New Hope, Pennsylvania. It takes about 15 to 20 hours to produce. Becoming a YouTuber. Allen launched his YouTube channel in 2020 and began filming true crime and mysteries. The first video on his YouTube channel, he attracts an audience of over 8 million subscribers, close to 9 million on the platform. His YouTube channel averages between 25 to 40 million monthly views according to Social Blade. He was noted for his storytelling style that builds suspense throughout his videos. This is what he said about making videos. My biggest issue is choosing a topic, not because I can't find material, I'm just picky. There are thousands of subjects. I have them all listed and organized on my computer. Sometimes I find a great story and know it's the one. But there are days I spend 12 hours on the computer and have nothing to show for it because I've just been reading through topics and not liking any. The competition for clicks, subscribers and likes between the 37 million channels on YouTube is intense. Every video Allen uploads includes a like button gag, where Allen urges viewers to gently perform a lobotomy on the like button, or gently take the like button out for a nice seafood dinner and never call it again. That kind of light humor offsets the dark themes.
If that's of interest to you, the next time the like button says they need to replace their tires on their Toyota Corolla, offer to do it for them and to pay for them, but make sure you replace their tires with enormous, oversized monster truck tires.
Allen also said what sets him apart from other true crime storytellers is making the victim the center of the story. Others in the genre focus on the killer or the perpetrator. I do the opposite to make it feel like the audience is in the footsteps of the victim. Instead of saying, Sally was in a horrible situation, I say, she would have been in total darkness and heard something behind her, and in my mind that's much more terrifying. What made him stand out? What made MrBallen stand out among other storytellers is basically his unique way of telling stories. MrBallen tells stories in a way that builds suspense and tension with a good twist at the end. Like any story worth hearing, Allen aims to bring listeners on a journey that ends with some kind of discovery. An engaging story, he said, has a really good twist. Whether it's a revelation at the end or a redirect like, no, it wasn't this person who did it, it was that person, the twist is the most satisfying part of telling a story. Here's one of his secret lines. As a storyteller, you must be fully committed, he said. A lot of the stuff I do on camera, I naturally do. He illustrates details with wide-eyed facial expressions, arms waving. His cadence picks up at the climactic moment. Even his own jaw drops. Another thing that he does is that he focuses the story on the victim, making it very relatable for interested listeners. Accomplishments so far. The accomplishments so far have been tremendous considering the fact that he only started about 4 years ago. With millions of followers and billions of views across different social media platforms. These accomplishments will be climbing greater heights in the near future. Some of his present, 8.9 million subscribers on YouTube, 8.8 million followers on TikTok, 2.5 million followers on Facebook, 535,000 followers on Instagram, 58,000 followers on Twitter. All these numbers are based on the time of this video. The Ballen Studios also officially launched MrBallen graphic novel to be officially available on his birthday in October. It is available for pre-order. Podcast. In February 2022, Allen released MrBallen podcast, Strange, Dark and Mysterious Stories. The podcast ranked number 1 on Spotify's True Crime Podcasts chart. As of July 2022, the MrBallen podcast was downloaded over 7 million times a month across all podcast platforms. Ballen Studios. In 2022, Allen, along with Nick Witters, opened a production company, Ballen Studios, with Witters serving as the company's CEO. The studio focuses on scaling existing ventures into new media forms and creating advertising streams. Ballen Studios also signed with the United Talent Agency (UTA) Amazon Music partnership. In October 2022, Allen and Nick Witters signed a licensing deal with Amazon Music to make the podcast exclusive to their platform. The 3-year deal also includes first-look rights to any new content from Ballen Studios, which includes TV, film, books, and games. MrBallen Foundation. In 2022, Allen founded the charity organization, MrBallen Foundation, with the mission of honoring victims and supporting families of heinous crimes through education, training and financial support. The MrBallen Foundation has generated over $1 million for charity. MrBallen's Medical Mysteries. In September 2023, Allen released MrBallen's Medical Mysteries, a podcast that shares medical horror stories and diagnostic mysteries that are designed to be intriguing and chilling. It covers a range of topics from unheard of diseases and miraculous recoveries to strange medical mishaps and unexplainable deaths. MrBallen's Medical Mysteries is available on platforms like Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. New episodes are published every Tuesday. Food for thought. Do whatever you are good at and try to get better each time. Always make sure you are always improving and looking for different ways to grow and develop your skills. Success lies as a reward for all your great hard work. This is all you need to know about MrBallen for now. Hope you got entertained. What story will you like to hear next? Send your story suggestions or original scary stories, both true or fictional, that are based on true life events to our email, storesphere07@gmail.com. Your stories must be realistic enough for it to get featured in our future videos. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye for now.